Howdy, folks. Welcome to the DVC Palladium. We are bringing you action today as the DVC Vikings come into this game 9-2. They're taking on the Las Positas College Hawks. They're 3-9 currently. We'll get you set up in just a moment. We're still working out some technical difficulties with our camera and such, so please work with us throughout the evening and let us know in the chat if anything is going on with that. But not much time before tip-off. Tip-off is happening in just a moment, so we'll get you the starters. So we'll start with the Hawks of Las Positas College. The Hawks coming in 3-9 on the year, and they've got a couple different guards coming out in this lineup. So the first guard, a 5'5 freshman from Patterson. It's number 3, Reina Manu. She's averaging 18.7 points per game and has the highest free throw percentage on the team at 73%. At another guard, it's Kaishanti King, number 4, the 5'7 freshman out of Stockton. And she is one of the leading scorers as well, the leading steals person for the Las Positas College Hawks with 19 steals per game. She's also given them 17 points per game and 8.7 rebounds per game. At the last guard, the leading scorer in the main point guard, number 32, the 5'5 sophomore from Lothrop, Kirsten Constantino. She's giving the Hawks 24.9 points per game alongside 3.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists. And this is a team that doesn't shoot well from three, but the highest three-point shooting percentage player for this team at 28.7%. And the two bigs in the middle, these are the people that are going to have to watch out for all game long. Number 21, Joyce Maluma, the 6'1 freshman from Hayward, brings a lot of size, leading the 3C 2A in rebounds with 23.5 rebounds per game. I mean, she's been a monster on the board, joined alongside another monster. The leading rebounder from last year, number 22, Monique Havnes, the 5'11 sophomore from Richmond, El Cerrito High School's own. She's giving them 20 rebounds per game. So rebounds is going to be at a premium today as this team just cleans up the boards completely. And on the other side, a new starter into the lineup, number 3, Grace Oakley, the shooting guard, 5'6 freshman from Bishop O'Dowd, will be getting the start as Izzy De La Cruz has come off of injury. So she will be getting the start in place of Izzy De La Cruz, but Izzy will be playing at some point. At the other guard, it'll be Lexi LaPerry, number 5, the sophomore from Alhambra, averaging 11.1 points per game, coming off nearly a triple-double, 20.7 rebounds, 6 assists. Tegan Gaines is back in the lineup. As Tegan Gaines comes back after not playing since the Laney game. She's giving the Vikings 14.5 points per game in her freshman year out of Northgate. And the last two, Tamana Sharifi, I mean, just a beast. Got a double-double last game, 11 points, 11 rebounds against Santa Monica. And then the big inside, number 32, Sky Parker. She's given the Vikings a double-double as well last game, 17 points, 15 rebounds. I believe that's her third double-double of the year. So a technical will be called against the Vikings to start the game. So before we have a tip-off, it'll be free throw shot. Constantino, that is Constantino getting both the free throws to start the game. So the Vikings will be at a disadvantage to start this one as Constantino is able to knock down both of the free throws. So a 2-0 lead for Las Positas College before we even begin. And we'll see in the middle, it'll be Joyce Maluma going up against Tegan Gaines. Vikings coming out, gray uniforms, gray tops, gray bottoms with the green numerals and the green trim. Las Positas College, black tops, black bottoms with the red numerals and the red trim. Tip is up, it's tipped, but it's brought in by Cavness. And now starting working left to right, it will be the Hawks of Las Positas College. This team rebounds extremely well, but a volume team really on offense. And a fired away three-point shot, missed from the corner, offensive rebound. That's the first one of the game, a right-hand hook shot. And another O-board brought this time around, Cavness able to get the basket to drop. So 2 offensive rebounds to get the start after a missed three-point shot from Constantino, and that gives a 4-point lead to Las Positas College before this game really even begins. Lexi LaPerry handling the ball handling duties, gets it over to Grace Oakley, behind the back with the dribble, swings it over to the left wing, 3-point shot, Sharifi's good! Tamana Sharifi blasting away from deep, 4-3, 9:15 remaining here, and the Vikings are going to put on their full court pressure. It's a little bit of a shell here as they try to trap Manu. Pushes it ahead over to Cavness, and Cavness is trapped alongside the near baseline. Out into the corner, it's King, doesn't take the shot, instead back over to Manu. 2-woman game, back over to King, corner 3. King hit the side of the backboard, gets the offensive rebound, drops it inside. And a basket from low block left, missed, but another offensive rebound by Cavness, and Cavness is fouled. First foul of the game aside from the technical will go against the Vikings here, and it'll send Cavness to the free throw line, a 54.9% free throw shooter. And that's something you can't do. You got to really trust your defense, get yourself in your spot, back yourself in, and start boxing out instead of fouling these bigger players inside. So the first foul will go against Sky Parker. That's her first. Cavness to the free throw line. First free throw, nothing but net. She's got 3 points, the leading scorer of the game in this early going in this 5-3 game. And yeah, Monique Cavness. I mean, you talk about just the amazingness of what she was able to accomplish last year. She's able to knock down both of the free throws. Leading rebounder in the 3C2A last year. And then Joyce Maluma comes in, 6'1" freshman, and she's taking the ground there. 25 rebounds per game. I mean, that duo was just dynamic inside. Vikings trying to answer after the two made free throws. That's a left elbow jumper. LaPerry slightly off the mark. Offensive rebound by Sharifi, and Sharifi's torn down. The foul will go against Cavness. That's her first of the game. And this is something to factor in as well. These players play nearly all 40 minutes of the game. And when you start getting them into foul trouble, when you start getting them a little tired, that's when the Vikings can really start to get it going. 6-3 is the score at the 8:30-minute mark. Sharifi gets it underneath the basket. And Tamana Sharifi, back-to-back buckets for the Vikings. She's got 5 points now, 6-5, 8:23 remaining. Vikings bring on the pressure once more. Constantino able to cross the midcourt stripe. Out into the corner once more for King. King doesn't take the three. Instead, with 20 seconds left on the shot clock, it's a straightaway three off the side of the iron. Long rebound won't be tracked down, so the ball will be going back to the Vikings. Constantino in warm-ups was knocking them down from all around the perimeter, but hasn't been able to get one to drop in this early going. And the Vikings trying to get their first lead of the game on this possible opportunity, now trailing 6-0. Grace Oakley wearing the number 3, calling out 3 to signal the play call. Tamana Sharifi swings it over to Tegan Gaines. Back over to right wing, it's LaPerry. LaPerry step back, doesn't take the 3 instead. A floater inside, LaPerry off the mark. Ball's flipped into the air, and it's brought in by Constantino. Constantino lobs ahead. Cavness swings to the right wing. Right wing 3, no good, fighting inside. And Tegan Gaines able to get the rebound off the missed 3-point shot by King, and it looks like Tegan's a little injured at the end of the play. This is not what you want to see. Tegan first game back, and she's a little shaken up here as she will get her first break of the game. Hopefully she's able to come back. Vikings have been so good with Tegan Gaines on the floor, but she has been shaken up left and right here and there. And Tegan Gaines will eventually get a seat here. So in comes Izzy De La Cruz. Didn't get the start tonight. You can see the mask on her face. She got hit up the front side of her face in that game against Santa Monica. But it's good to see her back here. So the trainers will address to Tegan Gaines, and the Vikings will hope she's able to get back after getting that defensive rebound last time around. Sharifi left all alone. Straightaway 3-point shot. Tamana's got 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, and she's got 8 points now. Tamana Sharifi's 2 3-pointers leading the way for the Vikings in this 8-6 game, 7:10 remaining. Trying to dribble through a double team is Cavness, able to do so. Back over to the corner now for King. King for 3, no good. Sky Parker fighting for the rebound, able to track it down after the outstretched arms of Maluma tried to get the O-board back. Lexi LaPerry, lob inside, threw that ball away. It's still up in the air, and fortunate for the Vikings, able to get it back with Oakley. Spins inside, the reverse, and left it too strong. Sky Parker just tried to use the basket as her friend, trying to use it as the extra defender or the extra offensive player in that situation there, but just left it too strong going across the basket. So out of bounds on the Vikings, and the Vikings still have the lead 8-6 as they put this 3-quarter court pressure on the floor against the Hawks of Las Positas College. Right block. The ping pong left open. It's Maluma getting her first points of the game. Doesn't really score too much, only averages 7.1 points per game. But when she's wide open underneath the basket, she will get a wide open shot, and she'll take it every time. 8-8, knotted up at that 8. And the first steal of the game will go the way of Las Positas College as Izzy De La Cruz turned the ball over. And trying to track it down, it looked like a big tight end trying to be covered by a little defensive back there, as the way larger player in Cavness had the ball knocked out of bounds after it was last touched by Izzy De La Cruz. So De La Cruz knocks it out of bounds. It'll be a sideline, or pardon me, it'll be a baseline to the left inbounds now for Las Positas College. New woman on the floor as well. It'll be Tanaya Lindsay getting some early playing time as Grace Oakley gets a breather. Left side, it'll be inbounded by Cavness. Throws it ahead over to King. King, flat-footed three. And King finds the range from deep. Only a 27% three-point shooter, but wide open. Those numbers obviously go up. 8-11, DVC trailing the Hawks here in this early going. 5:56 remaining. De La Cruz dribbles to the left elbow, doesn't take the shot, instead flips over to the corner. It's LaPerry now. LaPerry looking for a screen, eventually gets the screen from Sharifi. LaPerry behind the back dribble, gets back over to the left elbow, missed it there last time, and unable to find the mark from the left elbow once more. It's still 11-8. Up the floor quickly in transition is King. Back over to Constantino. Rebound secured by Sharifi. A lob ahead off the fingertips of Cavness, but the Vikings able to retain it. Sky Parker going to the block. Sky Parker high off the glass. Up and in. 10-11, Vikings trailing by 1. Three-quarter court pressure set once more. 25 seconds left on the shot clock. It'll be Cavness just bringing it all the way across the floor. Right wing three, missed. That was King missing the shot after making the last one. And now LaPerry down the floor. Sharifi having a terrific night. Passes to De La Cruz. De La Cruz inside, the 12-foot floater inside the lane, no good. And that jumper is missed, brought in by Cavness. Constantino, a deep three. Heel of the iron miss. And Maluma was all alone to pick up that rebound. Maluma stops her feet, doesn't get the foul. Instead, it's De La Cruz with the steal. De La Cruz will get a breather here as the head coach for the Vikings, Casey Waters, in her third year will take the timeout. So as the Vikings take the timeout, we'll take it as well here on DVC Vikings Live. 11-10 here at the 4:38-minute mark of this first. Remember, folks, the 10th annual poker tournament is coming up. It will be on February 3rd on Saturday. So that's 2024, obviously, at the HSF building. Go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker if you want to join along. It's a ton of fun, and we'd love to have you out here. Back on the floor here for the Vikings now. De La Cruz helping out our new PA announcer, Zane Massey. He's taken over the duties of John Brand for just a moment, so the Vikings will get a new replacement unit on the floor. It'll be De La Cruz alongside LaPerry, Sky Parker, Skylar Hendrich in for the first time tonight alongside Tania Lindsay. Top of the key jumper, left too short. Front of the iron miss for Sky Parker trying to show off her range. And now up the floor. It'll be Manu. Manu from the left wing, no good. Off the fingertips off of King. And the ricochet will go out of bounds off of the Hawks. So the Vikings here trailing by 1 at the 4:16-minute mark, having an opportunity to try to get the lead once more. This is a team that shoots a lot, but not necessarily having the highest of percentages. Bottom 10 in the 3C2A in terms of field goal percentage. So when those shots drop, I mean, you'll have plenty of opportunities, but the Vikings try to capitalize on every opportunity here. Right elbow jumper, no good once more. Ball off the fingertips of the Vikings now, and it's finally brought in by Constantino. Pushing ahead once more, it's King going to the other side of the basket, and Sky Parker able to get the rebound after the missed shot by King. Izzy De La Cruz running down the far side of the floor. A lob inside, it's over to Sky Parker. Turnaround jumper, curls out, swatted up in the air, and Cavness gets the rebound. Vikings haven't had much opportunity to put on the full court pressure here, as it's been mainly a transition game. King firing away from three. Off the mark once more. Just a little too strong. The lob inside. Vikings are really pushing the pace over to Sky Parker. And Sky Parker, aside from her one made basket, just hasn't been able to find the mark. Still a 1-point game here, 11-10 at the 3:23-minute mark. No substitutions up to this point for the Las Positas College Hawks. LaPerry fighting through a double team covering Manu. They leave Maluma to roam to the basket. Had the ball knocked away for a moment. Vikings with some stout defense there, pushing the hands inside of the pocket. Constantino from the left wing, 5 seconds left to shoot. Lexi LaPerry. Jaws theme song playing in her head, and no good. A block by the Vikings in a 30-second turnover. 30 seconds of terrific defense played by the Vikings here as Tegan Gaines comes back to the bench for the Vikings. That's a very good sight to see. 2:59 remaining. De La Cruz inbounds over to LaPerry, and the Vikings still trying to get an answer on offense now. Right elbow. Continuing to just not be able to get it is LaPerry, but an offensive rebound for the Vikings. And it's Tanaya Lindsay on her first shot attempt. Wasn't able to get the short left wing jumper. And the Vikings have gone cold on offense up to this point. 2:36 remaining. It'll be Manu for three. And a foul over the back against Kaishanti King. Second foul against Las Positas College. And this is a great sight to see. Tegan Gaines comes back in, giving Sky Parker a breather, but with the issues that Gaines has had this year, had to sit out a few different times. Gotta hold your breath every single time she goes down and comes out. De La Cruz rocking the mask, has the ball from the left wing, gets a screen from Gaines, dribbles to the top of the key, swings it over the baseline. It's LaPerry stepping back, goes inside once more, back over to the corner. It's Hendricks for three. No good, ball still live, and instead brought in by Constantino. Long tracking balls have gone the way of Las Positas College, and they fire away from three once more. Volume shooting tonight for Kaishanti King, but she has 6 points off 2 made 3-point shots, and thus extends the lead for Las Positas College, 14-10. Vikings trying to answer with a three of their own. It's Sky Hendricks missing the three, but nice steal by Tanaya Lindsay in the backcourt. Vikings capitalizing. It's a 2-on-2 now. Ball's ricocheted up in the air. It goes over to Tegan Gaines, and Gaines called for the travel. Ends up making the 3-point shot from about 22 feet out. But just a little too much cha-cha on that play. 1:42 remaining here. Las Positas with the lead of 4 points over the tied for 13th ranked DVC Vikings. On paper, this is every much so a trap game for the Vikings coming in, so the Vikings need to put on a strong performance to answer the call. 3-point shot missed by Constantino. Vikings fighting for the rebound. Got the rebound past Maluma. Sky Hendricks stops in the backcourt. And man-to-man defense once more for Las Positas College. From the left side of the top of the key, it'll be Tamana Sharifi chasing down her missed shot. And a terrific effort play will keep the ball with the Vikings. Sharifi knew she missed that shot immediately. The ball was in the hands of Kaishanti King, but she didn't give up on the ball, and the Vikings will get the jump ball. Left wing three, no good for Tegan Gaines. And pushing ahead once more is Manu. Manu turns the ball over. It was Tegan Gaines alone underneath the basket, just getting that steal. Skylar Hendricks gets the low block left and gets the first foul against Joyce Maluma. Maluma's fouled out of 4 games this year. That's the second most in the 3C2A. So the third foul against Las Positas College and the first against Maluma at the 103-minute mark here. And let's see if the Vikings can break the scoring drought. It's been about 4 minutes of non-scoring for the Vikings and unable to do so on the first attempt from Hendricks. Misses the first free throw as she tries to get her first points of the game. Hendricks, a 64% free throw shooter. Shuffles the feet, throws up the second, nothing but net. And the Vikings scoring drought has officially ended here at the 103-minute mark. Vikings elect to play the half-court defense instead of put on the pressure. Cavness throws it to the corner. Way too wild over the top, and the airmail ball past Kaishanti King will be a turnover on Las Positas College. So at the 56.9-minute mark here, Vikings have the opportunity to either cut it down to 1 or tie it up at 14. Vikings could go for the 2-for-1 if they decide to do so. Not much of a motion offense. It's mainly get it down the floor and shoot it up. Volume game for Las Positas College. De La Cruz cutting to the hole. Bounce past the extra pass, and Sharifi unable to get the ball to drop. Terrific idea, but the Vikings unable to capitalize on it. About a 6-second game shot clock difference here. 16 seconds here, and Las Positas College will be content to hold the ball. Looking for the screen is Constantino. Gets the screen, And an offensive foul. I believe this will be an off-the-ball screen from Cavness. And if this is against Cavness, it'll be your second. Yes, it is. That is huge news. So at the 12.8-minute mark, the Vikings trailing by 3 will have the ball and an opportunity to try to get one more basket in here. Under 10 seconds to play here in this first quarter. It'll be De La Cruz spinning alongside the baseline. It's Sharifi from the left wing. Sharifi! Her third triple of the first quarter, and Sharifi's got 10 points, tying it up at 14. All knotted up 14 apiece here after 10 minutes of play, and the Vikings go on a scoring drought, but the defense stays true, only holding Las Positas College to a couple baskets, and Tamana Sharifi's been magnificent throughout the first 10 minutes of play. 11 points for Sharifi, and we'll take us to our timeout here, back on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the floor will be Monique Cavness, the 5'11 sophomore from Richmond, inbounding right in front of us here at midcourt. Cavness has 2 fouls alongside 4 points in this early going. Averages a double-double, 12.6 and 20 rebounds. Just a monster on the boards for this Hawks team. She'll pass it over to Reina Manu. And now the Las Positas College will work. It's Manu with the ball from the top of the key. Gets a screen and the switch. Vikings double now, leaving Cavness alone. Cavness trying to thread the needle underneath the basket. And as she was trying to find Joyce Maluma, the ball was thrown way too far ahead. And the score will stay at 14 apiece here at the 9:42-minute mark. Sharifi has the ball. Cutting into the paint. The right-handed hook shot too strong. Rebound brought in by Joyce Maluma. Like the opportunity, feed the hot hand. Sharifi's been terrific. Constantino, it was a deep three-point shot by Constantino on her 4th attempt. Will find the bottom of the net. It's 17-14. De La Cruz trying to answer with a 3 of her own. Too strong. The ball will stay with the Vikings. Joyce Maluma had the opportunity to pick up the rebound, but just couldn't quite get her handles on it. And so the Vikings will have an opportunity to inbound it now from the L of the DVC Vikings Diablo Valley baseline logos. A deep three-point shot hits the top of the stanchion, so you can feel the frustration of Tegan Gaines. She was shooting 50% from 3 at one point in the season, but as of what the stats we've got right now, Tegan's only shooting 26%, loves those deep threes. Constantino trying to go back-to-back, hits it off the front of the iron, and the Vikings will push ahead now. Turnover on the Vikings as they try to throw it ahead over to De La Cruz. Now Manu's going to dribble. Manu to the left side of the lane. Manu. Floater's no good. Offensive rebound brought in once more by Maluma. It looks like Gaines is hurt once more. Vikings will have to keep her on the floor for a moment. Manu for 3. Side of the iron. Long rebound will go out of bounds, and it looks like Tegan Gaines will have to get a breather once more. It doesn't look like she'll actually get replaced, though, as Casey Waters is talking to her freshman forward. 17-14 here at the 8:42-minute mark. Vikings just have not seemed to be living up to their full potential here as they're trying to defend their undefeated home streak at 3-0. Good to see Gaines stay in the game, though. Gaines left all alone. Jab step. Goes to the right side of the lane. Throws it up. I think she was trying to throw a lob. Instead, it hit the side of the iron. And now King will push ahead. King goes straight to the hole. And good defense by De La Cruz, forcing an errant shot. Rebound brought in by LaPerry. LaPerry going coast to coast. The Euro step inside. And LaPerry finally able to get her first points of the game on the floater from point-blank range. Making it 17-16 here at the 8:05 mark. Vikings have not elected to go for the full court pressure here, but the half-court defense is there. The steal by Gaines, the push ahead. And De La Cruz stepped out of bounds. Just an unfortunate situation. The Vikings had a 2-on-1 or almost a 2-on-none, but the ball floated too far ahead. De La Cruz wasn't able to reclaim it before stepping out of bounds, and so a turnover on the Vikes. Left wing now, Constantino doesn't get the three-point shot, and now Sharifi gets the board, tossing ahead, one-on-one, right side of the block. No good once more for Sky Parker. Sky Parker having a little bit of a rough night, but Lefter Sear continue to attack. Transition three for Manu, and that's an air ball wide left. Airmail the triple. And this has been a very tightly contested game throughout the first 13 minutes of play. 7:34 remaining here in the second quarter of play. A pretty loosely called game up to this point. The officials are letting both teams play. And so if the Vikings can finally really start to put on their pressure, that should bode well for them. De La Cruz stops her dribble, swings it over to the right wing. That's a bounce pass over inside, and the straightaway jumper is no good for Sky Parker. 15 feet out, wasn't able to get it. Still 16-17, Vikings trailing by 1. Kirsten Constantino over to Cavness, working top of the key, dribble inside. The 12-foot floater for Cavness, no good. And Tegan Gaines with a strong rebound. 7 minutes to play, Vikings pushing the pressure. It's Sky Parker getting the nice long ball. And then the scoop shot underneath the basket to give the Vikings the lead, 18-17, 6:50 remaining. Constantino from just past midcourt now, right-handed dribble. Lobs over to the right elbow. Cavness throws it to the corner. Manu, quick fire three. No good. Offensive rebound by Cavness. Cavness goes up. No foul called there. Maluma with another O board. And now it's King. And King. Well, I believe this is going to be a 5-second penalty against the Vikings here. King had no opportunity to take the shot. So the 5-second penalty will go against the Vikings here, and I'm a little confused as to the situation here. I thought it was going to be free throws here, but instead it'll be a sideline inbounds. Monique Cavness inbounding here, and I don't think it was a 5-second violation. I believe something happened, and there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock. A triple made by the big woman. 33% three-point shooter for Cavness. And Cavness has been getting it done inside of the paint. This time, she gets it done from beyond the arc. Sky Parker trying to fight inside, gets the feed from LaPerry and earns a trip to the line. Sky Parker is 66% free throw shooter, and she'll have an opportunity to show off her chops here. De La Cruz still working around, trying to get used to that mask, had to wipe off some condensation. And so the Vikings with Skylar Hendrich, Sky Parker missing the first free throw shot, alongside De La Cruz, LaPerry, and Tegan Gaines. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Vikings, and there has not been a substitution up to this point for Las Positas College. They do have a few different players, a pretty large bench considering the other teams in the 3C2A, but they typically rock with their starting 5. Second free throw attempt opportunity now for Sky Parker. And Parker is 0 for 2 from the line. So 0 for in that situation, and it's still an 18 to 18 point lead as they fix their correction. They called it a Cavness 2-point shot, but it was indeed a 3. So it's tied up at 18 now at the 5:58 minute mark as Manu handles going left to right for the Hawks. Underhand shovel, it's over to King. Kaishanti King throws it over to Constantino, doesn't take the 3. Instead of step back, it is a 3, and it's good. Constantino, 2 triples on her many attempts, and she's got 8 points there, extending the lead to 3. Skylar Hendrich works her way inside, and the second foul will be picked up against Maluma there, sending Hendrich to the line for the second time. Skylar Hendrich 1 for 1 now. And now we will see the rare substitution now as Maluma will have to take the bench. Sophie Fletcher, the freshman forward for Mountain House, will replace her. She played in the game against Custa College, had 9 minutes, 3 for 6 from the field as the first free throw is made by Hendrich. She's now 2 for 3, has 2 points. But yeah, Fletcher You don't lose any size, bring her on the floor. Fletcher, 6'2", replacing the 6'1" Maluma. So you actually get a little bit more size as the second free throw is missed. Henrich 2 for 4 now, I should say. And Sophie Fletcher shows her size immediately. Manu on the other end, finally able to find the bottom of the net, averages 18.7 points per game, hasn't had an opportunity to drop up to this point, and now a 7-point lead for Las Positas College. 19-26, that's the score that we have on hand right now. Behind the back dribble for LaPerry. LaPerry goes straight into the trees, gets the and one. The basket was good, and that'll be the third foul against Cavness. That is a huge foul there. That is a massive foul. If they can get both Maluma and Cavness off the floor, the Vikings will be in a very good position there. LaPerry struggling on this early going, but starting to find her rhythm. LaPerry's got 5 points now after the made free throw. In the past, LaPerry, when she struggled from the field, has found a way to get to the free throw line and really has got the Vikings going from that spot, an 81% free throw shooter, so very good at that position. And with the 4-point lead, the Hawks trying to answer with the lob inside. There'll be Fletcher having the ball knocked away from her as she tried to get the feed inside in the paint. And now the Vikings quickly ahead over to Sky Parker. Parker ricochets out, rebound brought in by Hendrich. And now the Vikings swing back over to LaPerry. And I believe this will be an off-the-ball foul called against the Vikings here as LaPerry has the ball handling with no one around her. No foul on the board up to this point, and as my eyes were off the ball, I believe Las Positas College might have turned the ball over. So haven't seen who the foul was called on that off the ball. It's still showing that the last foul was against Cavness, so instead, the Vikings will inbound from the right side of the baseline. De La Cruz trying to scan past the tall players for Las Positas College, and now she'll get the ball back. Feeds inside, and a travel. Second or third travel called against the Vikings here. And the Vikings are a team that doesn't turn over the ball very often, only averaging 12.8 turnovers per game, top 10 in the 3C 2A in that category. But a couple errant turnovers in this early going as, oh my goodness, all alone it was Sophie Fletcher, but coming back to get the swat. Skylar Hendrich, no easy baskets on that side of the floor when she's guarding. It was Cavness trying to whip it over to the corner, but it was ricocheted off the hands of LaPerry. So now resetting from the right side sideline, inbounding once more is Monique Cavness. 26-22 the score here as Las Positas College has a 4-point advantage over the tied for 13th ranked DVC Vikings. Constantino, back over to Manu. Manu dribbles with the right hand. Back over to the right wing, it's Constantino trying to work a screen. Gets the screen and the switch now. No, LaPerry fought through it. Terrific job fighting through it. But better offense by the weight of Constantino. She's in double digits now with 10 points. LaPerry wanted to shove. Vikings up the floor, and the Vikings cut the Hawks sleeping. Skylar Hendrich with their first field goal of the evening makes it 28-24. Vikings have really been pushing the pace. Haven't capitalized on that, so that's something that the Vikings will definitely talk about the halftime break here. 3 minutes, 42 seconds away from that break. It's King from the right wing. King! All three of her baskets have come from deep, and she's got 9 points now. 7-point lead. Ball lobbed ahead once more. Hendrich, a little bit of a wild shot, but Tegan Gaines able to get the O board. Crossover dribble, LaPerry. Back over to the top of the key, and inside of the key, it'll be Sky Parker pulled the string. Short rebound brought in by Fletcher. Now it's Constantino bringing it across the floor. It's King left all alone on the right wing. Pulled it short once more. Offensive board brought in by Fletcher. And the ball nearly stolen away by De La Cruz. De La Cruz got in the passing lane, tipped it ahead, but wasn't able to tightrope the sideline to bring it in. So at the 3:02-minute mark, the Vikings still trail by 7 here, 31-24. Under 3 minutes to play here. The Vikings are trailing against the Hawks of Las Positas College Hawks only 3-9 on the year, and that really just you live and die by the volume shooting. When the shots are going down, you make it happen, but when they miss, as they've done a lot this year, in the bottom 10 of the 3C2A in terms of field goal percentage. But history doesn't matter when you're knocking down the shots up to this point. King, a lob to the right block. Instead, it's a pass over to Constantino. Constantino trying to get the screen once more. LaPerry isn't able to fight through it this time around. And Constantino tried to throw it back in on the pick and roll, but instead the Vikings with the steal. Skylar Hendricks sprinting down the middle of the floor. Left side of the lane, turns around, right shot, and one. Teagan's first basket comes in style. Gets inside of the paint, pivots the foot, the hook shot, and the foul. So a timeout here because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it will be Cavness's fourth foul. So we'll get a clarification in just a moment, but for right now, let's take the timeout here. 2:28 remaining here in the second quarter of play. A foul on the floor, sending Teagan Gaines to the free throw line here on DVC. Back on the floor quickly here. Teagan Gaines going to the free throw line. She's a 64% free throw shooter on paper, but more than anything, Monique Cavness has 4 fouls. The leading rebounder in the 3C2A from a year ago, the second leading rebounder in the 3C2A this year. She will stay in at the 2:28-minute mark here of the second quarter with 4 fouls. Joyce Maluma already getting a seat on the bench as she's picked up 2 early fouls. So walking on eggshells, tiptoeing on eggshells there are the Hawks. Vikings get the steal after the made free throw. It's LaPerry feeding De La Cruz, but De La Cruz wasn't able to find the bottom of the net. Gaines with 3 points. And the ball off the fingertips of Fletcher. You hate to see that if you're King. A nice feed inside, but Fletcher wasn't able to get the pass cleanly. It's 27-31. I believe the Vikings, no, this is actually, oh my goodness, this is the Hawks. You could hear the thundering voice of Caleb Theodore as he takes the timeout. So we'll take the timeout as well here quickly. And you're tuned into DVC Vikings Live. Vikings trailing the Hawks of Las Positas College 31-27 at the 2:12 mark here in the second quarter of play. Back on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings. So remember, the 10th annual poker tournament is coming up February 3rd. DVC, one of their main fundraisers of the year, the DVC Athletics Annual Poker Tournament. $40 to attend, $20 right buy-ins, and it's a $7 pot to play. First place gets $500, second place gets $250, third place gets $200. For more information, go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker. Vikings with the ball now at the 2:04-minute mark. De La Cruz back over to Teagan Gaines. Running down the right side of the lane. The scoop shot for Gaines is up and in. Teagan Gaines, the leading scorer for the Vikings with 14.5 points per game. She's actually tied with De La Cruz, also getting 14.5. And she's got 5 points just like that last few possessions for the Vikes. It's a 2-point game now as King fires away from 3. The ricochet goes straight into the hands of LaPerry. And LaPerry throwing wide open ahead. It's Hendricks missing the shot. Offensive rebound by Sky Parker, and Parker's got 6. Has been fighting through that rough shooting start to this game. And Parker's starting to find her groove just a moment here as the Vikings tied up 31 all. Constantino dribbling across the lane. She'll spin back around, working between the circles now. 15 seconds left on the shot clock as a new person comes to the free throw, or comes to the scorer's table. for the Hawks. Constantino, 8 seconds left. Reach in, not called. Instead, a turnaround three-point shot. It was a wild three-point shot and a foul underneath the basket. This will likely go against Skylar Hendrich as she was trapped behind the big body of Sophie Fletcher. It'll only be the second foul of the quarter on DVC, however. And now replacing Sophie Fletcher, it'll be Mary Ferrero, the forward, 5'8", freshman from Stockton. Played a few minutes last game, played quite a few, I should say. And now diving on the floor, getting the steal is Tegan Gaines. 43 seconds left on the game clock, 22 seconds remaining here on the shot clock. Vikings could go for the 2-for-1 here. Out to the corner, LaPerry doesn't settle for a three. And a foul on a push will go against Kaishanti King, so the Vikings will be sent to the free throw line as that's the 5th foul called against the Hawks. So an opportunity to take the lead inside of 1 minute to play here in the second quarter. And it'll be Lexi LaPerry, the best free throw shooter for the Vikes, looking to do so. LaPerry in her last game as the first free throw is up and in. 6 points for LaPerry now, but like I was saying before, 20.7 rebounds, 6 assists in that last game against Foothill College. Pardon me, it was against Laney College as she had to sit out the Foothill and Hartnell games, and the second free throw is missed by LaPerry. Still 6 points for LaPerry here, and so about a 4-second shot clock, game clock difference now for the Hawks. Vikings will set up in a woman-to-woman defense here. 15 seconds left on the shot clock as Constantino yo-yos between her legs. Reaching into the cookie jar is LaPerry trying to get the steal from Constantino. Constantino working down the left wing, and Constantino would get the contact. And he'll be in the act of shooting, so the first foul against Lexi LaPerry, it'll only be the 3rd foul against the Vikings, and it'll send Constantino, 62% free throw shooter, to the free throw line. No, it won't. Oh, they caught it on the floor. That is surprising. I thought she was well up within the shooting motion, but instead it'll be 5 seconds left on the shot clock, 8.5 seconds remaining. Maluma will come back in after getting about 7 minutes of rest here. She will replace Ferrero. So it'll be Monique Cavnes from the left side of the baseline to inbound it. Sky Parker's covering her. Because of the foul, will actually take away the shot clock, so one more opportunity to shoot it. 5 seconds left. Behind the back dribbles, Constantino gets doubled. De La Cruz right up in her business, has to throw it ahead, and terrific doubling by De La Cruz and LaPerry do not give the Hawks an opportunity to take the last shot. The Hawks have led the majority of this first half, but it's the Vikings with the advantage, 32-31 at the halftime break. Let's get you some points across the board. Reina Manu having a lot of three-point shot, but only able to find one of them to find the bottom of the basket. She's got 3 points. Kaishanti King has been pretty good from beyond the arc. She's got 9 points, alongside the 2 points from Joyce Maluma, the 7 points from Monique Cavnes, and the 10 points Kirsten Constantino. Averages 24.9 points per game, and she's got 10 throughout the first 20 minutes of play. Something to note, the second leading rebounder for the Las Positas College Hawks, Monique Cavnes, has 4 fouls. So this will be a huge storyline going into the second half as she fouls out. You have size inside of the bench with Sophie Fletcher, but you don't want to see your second leading rebounder and the second leading rebounder in the 3C2A sitting in this early going if you're Theodore in the Hawks team. On the other side of the floor, no scoring tonight by Izzy De La Cruz, but she's got a few different assists. After Grace Oakley got the start, she had to sit out just a little bit as she was working through a face injury wearing the mask tonight. Lexi LaPerry started off a little bit cold, but she's got 6 points at the halftime break. 4 points for Skylar Hendricks, 5 points for Tegan Gaines, as it seemed like she got all of those points in a tight bunch of minutes. Sky Parker's got 6 points as she's really had to work through her offensive arsenal tonight. Missed a few different shots, but has really found her groove fighting through it in this ladder going. And the leading scorer for the Vikings, Tamana Sharifi, with 11 points, had all of her points in the first quarter of play, and she was a hot player for the Vikings in this early going. In the second half, hasn't quite been able to replicate that magic in the first. So that sends us to our 32-31 point game here at the halftime break. And we'll be back after halftime to give you some more action here on the floor at the DVC Palladium on Steve Coach Emilio Court. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Max Agres, bringing the coverage of DVC Vikings athletics all year long, and we love to have you here on the broadcast. Show some love in the chat if you'd like, and let us know if there's any technical issues that we got to fix, and I'll try to fix them up. It's a one-man operation tonight, so glad to have you join alongside with us here. So sending us to the halftime break with under 13 minutes here. And we've got a good one on our hands. Number 13th ranked DVC 32 and Las Positas College coming in and giving the Vikings a heck of a fight here on DVC Vikings Live. Just about 40 seconds remaining here in this first half, at the halftime break, I should say. And just a friendly reminder, the DVC Athletics Annual Poker Tournament will be coming up. It's the 10th annual tournament. $40 to attend, $75 to play, $20 rebuy. So first place, you'll get $500. Second place, you'll get $250. Third place, you'll get $200. It's a ton of fun. All you can eat and drink, obviously 21 and up to drink in this situation. But yeah, join us for a night of fun. It'll be February 3rd. That's a Saturday at the DVC HSF building. And it's always a great time and one of the best fundraisers of the year. Back on the floor with no time remaining here in the halftime break. So the score 32-31 at the half. And something big to note, 4 fouls on Cavness. She's one of the better players, averaging 20 rebounds and 12.6 points per game for Las Positas College. She's got 7 points already. And she will start on the floor. Vikings inbound it. It's a baseline jumper, and the 15-footer from the baseline is no good for Sky Parker. Up the floor, it'll be back over to Kaishanti King. Now it's Reina Manu. Right-handed dribble for Manu as LaPerry plays the defense on her. Woman-to-woman defense for the Vikings. A deep three-point shot for King. Front of the iron, miss. Offensive rebound brought in by Cavness. That's what she does so well. One of the leading offensive rebounders in all of the 3C2A. Constantino now from the left wing. Right-handed dribble as she works towards 2 different Vikings players. And Manu now tries to feed inside. Sharifi knocks it away. Vikings get a steal. Sharifi with the effort. Lexi LaPerry lobs over to Sharifi. Hasn't scored since the first quarter of play. And Sharifi steps back into a 3-point shot. Was able to bring the heat, but it's Tegan Gaines gets the O-board and the putback. So good to see Gaines really starting to fall back into her form. Vikings putting on the full quarter pressure now as they lead 34-31. Manu called in the backcourt. 10-second violation against the Hawks, and the Vikings get the turnover, or force the turnover, I should say. Haven't seen any of those tonight. We saw it quite a few different times in one of the previous games against Merritt here. Different caliber team, of course, though. Sky Parker crosses the lane, right-handed hook shot, and Parker's nearing double digits. She's got 9 points. As we were reading out the numbers at the end of the first half of play, we missed one of the free throws that Sky had. And the Vikings' pressure continues to bury on heavy here as it's another consecutive turnover on the Hawks. Vikings forcing the turnover. It'll be De La Cruz wearing that mask, inbounding it here. Tegan Gaines, right wing triple, no good. Offensive rebound by Parker. Parker attacking the hole. Parker low block left, no good. Another board. And it's O-board by Lexi LaPerry this time around. Sharifi, 15-footer. Free throw line jumper, no good. Kaishanti King flying high for the rebound. King's going to bring it coast to coast, but instead she swings it over the right wing. It's Manu for 3. Swirls out. Rebound brought in by Gaines. Gaines will run the set here, pushing it up the floor. Crossover dribble, getting straight to the low block left. Tegan Gaines trying to go coast to coast, no good. Misses the shot by the offensive rebound, and Sky Parker unable to make the basket either. Skylar Hendricks coming to the scorer's table for the Vikings here. Going to be Constantino backing your way inside, gets the low block instead, passes over to King. King from the left wing pulls the strings short. That's another rebound. She's gathering them up in bunches now as Tegan Gaines. Gaines trying to do the same thing as last time, but instead she'll turn around from the left wing. De La Cruz to LaPerry. LaPerry lob inside, low block left. Sky Parker unable to get the basket to go and instead tracks down her own rebound and a foul on the floor. Foul be called against Joyce Maluma. That's her 3rd. Sky Parker getting a breather now as Skylar Hendricks comes back in. Sky for Sky. Right side baseline now for De La Cruz. 5-point lead for the Vikings here. Trailed the majority of the first half, but was able to take a 1-point lead in at the halftime break. It's 4-0 right now for the Vikes. And the Vikings turn the ball over here. Good defense by Kaishanti King poking the ball away from LaPerry. That's one thing the Vikings did so well in that second quarter, to cut back down the lead, just not turning the ball over in such an uncharacteristic manner. Kirsten Constantino now brings the ball down for the near side of the floor. As we get you the players on the floor, it'll be the starters inside here as a foul is called against Sharifi on the bump. That'll be her first. But first for the Hawks, it'll be Reina Manu, Kaishanti King, Joyce Maluma, Monique Havnes, and Kirsten Constantino. And on the floor for the Vikings, it'll be De La Cruz alongside Lexi LaPerry, Tegan Gaines, Tamana Sharifi, and Sky Parker. And we'll get to a guest in just a moment. At the next break of play, we'll bring on one of the men's players for the Vikings, and there'll be a surprise on the other side. So it'll be Constantino firing away for a deep three, right side miss, and a foul will be called on the Vikings once more as Joyce Maluma takes a seat on the floor. Sharifi picked up the foul just a moment ago, and let's see what number they call for the second one. They haven't updated the scoreboard yet, so as Cavness ties her shoes from the right side of the baseline, she'll look to inbound it. A streaking King, and Kaishanti King gets her first 2-point basket to drop here. It'll be in the and one variety. After not scoring throughout the first 3 minutes of play, an opportunity now for Kaishanti King to go for a 3-point play. On the floor for the Vikings, it'll be Tegan Gaines drawn alongside Sky Parker, who comes back in, replacing Sky Hendricks. Or no, she is not replacing Sky Hendricks as she's on the other side of the lane. First free throw is missed by King. Only a 48% free throw shooter. She is in double digits with 11, but misses that opportunity. But ricocheted off a Vikings player, so it'll stay with the Hawks. King gets it back in the right wing. Throws it over the right elbow. It's Cavness, spins inside, throws it over to the corner once more. A 3-point shot from that corner hits the side of the backboard, and Constantino misses badly. Rebound by Gaines. Gaines the crossover. Gaines down the lane. Gaines is held up and thrown to the ground. The foul will send Gaines to the free throw line, and he'll go on a hold. Reina Manu picks up her first. So will not be in the act of shooting, surprising enough. So from the left side of the baseline, De La Cruz to inbound it at the 6:52-minute mark here of the third quarter. Henrich left all alone. 12-foot baseline jumper is good as Skylar Hendricks has 6 points now. So it's LaPerry, De La Cruz alongside Sky Parker, Sky Henrich, and Tegan Gaines. Trying to pass across the lane, and the steal by Sky Parker. Gaines bringing it across the floor. She's heavily contested by Maluma. Stops at the three-point line. Left all alone for a moment. Instead, a wide-open three-point shot. Skylar Hendricks splash. 41-31. Vikings putting on the pressure here in the third quarter. Cross-court pass over to Maluma, and what was a very well-called first half, I mean, in terms of just not overblowing the whistle, has turned into a little bit of a whistle fest as we've got 4 fouls in this early going. I believe this will actually be the 5th overall in this third quarter of play. So 3 on the Vikings, 2 on Las Positas College, and Sky Parker picks up her second. It'll send Joyce Maluma to the free throw line, only a 54% free throw shooter. And she tries to cross the tee on the 3-point play. 6:19 remaining. A little bit duck-footed on the free throw attempt. Falling to her rear end was Gaines, but Gaines was able to secure the rebound and shovel ahead over to De La Cruz before falling out there. And De La Cruz trying to thread the needle between 2 different players for Las Positas College. Will throw it past Sky Parker. 6:10 remaining here. 41-35 is the score. 3 fouls on the Vikings, 2 fouls against Las Positas College. But more than anything, what I want to see the Vikings do is pressure ahead, force the contact, and get Monique Cavness out of the game. She's already got 4 fouls throughout the first little section here. Cavness nearly called for the turnover, but instead a missed basket underneath by Maluma. Gets 2 offensive rebounds. Back over to Cavness now. Cavness lowers the shoulder, and it'll be an offensive foul. So this is an offensive foul. It will go against Cavness, and that'll be her 5th, just as we talked about. Cavness will foul out of the game. Finishes the night with 7 points. And they're leaving her on the floor right now, but Sam Garski's screaming out. It looks like she might actually only have 4. That is huge. I thought she had 4 going into this point, but I believe one foul might have gone against another player, and Henrich leaves it short, pulls it a little short here. So Cavness actually only has 4, so she stays in the game here. Will not finish the night yet. And Constantino with a deep 3. 13 points now for Constantino, 25-point per game scorer, and the Vikings trying to trade baskets from the 3-point shot, missed by Skylar Henrich. Vikings need to slow this game down just a moment here. As a left wing 3 is taken by Manu. Manu hasn't had much success here as Henrich gets the rebound. The pace has really slowed down in terms of energy. Both teams really just being content firing away and volume shooting here. Turnaround on the top of the key jumper from 17 feet out straight away is missed by Parker. Reina Manu now bringing it across the floor, right-handed dribble, working to the right wing. She'll hand it off over to King. King, just missed everything there. Way too wide on the shot. Rebound brought in by De La Cruz. De La Cruz shifts it into a different gear as she misses the shot from underneath the basket there. Tegan Gaines fighting for the rebound. No foul on the floor here as Gaines fights hard, and Cavness is hurt at the end of the play. She's holding her right arm, maybe just a tug. I've had this issue before where I've had my shoulder tugged out of the pocket. You do not wish injury upon anybody, man. That is a tough one there. Holding the left side of the arm here. And we'll get a substitution as the lovely training staff here at DVC will help her get a breather. And oh my goodness, I believe she might have actually subluxated her shoulder there. She got some assistance from Caleb Theodore, her head coach. So the first time she's getting a substitution here tonight, despite being in foul trouble early on. So in a replacement would be another big Sophie Fletcher there. Another deep 3-point shot. Long rebound traced in by LaPerry, and LaPerry runs up the floor as the Vikings have a 41-37 lead here at the 4:20-minute mark. Skylar Parker fighting between the trees, and Sky Parker earns a trip to the free throw line once more. Still working through a lot of pain, but it looks like she'll have to take a visit to the training table first before she's able to come back into the game. That's Cavness. A lot of heart and a lot of spirit here. And the first foul against number 23, that's Sophie Fletcher, as the first free throw is missed by Sky Parker. 1 for 4 now from the free throw line. Skylar Parker trying to come off her double-double last game. 17 points, 15 rebounds for Parker in the last contest. Second free throw rattles in. Sky Parker 2 for 5 now, and she's in double digits with 10 points. 42-37, 4:17 remaining here. Constantino crossing the midcourt strap as the Vikings elect not to put on the pressure at the 4:10-minute mark here. 42-37. Fighting through his screen is LaPerry. Manu goes inside the lane. She's rejected mid at the summit. It was Tegan Gaines swatting the ball away. 2 players down the floor. The Vikings have a 5-on-3. De La Cruz over to Parker. Parker wide open. Parker from low block left. 12 points for Parker, and the Vikings capitalize on the 5-on-3. 7-point lead for the Vikes. Constantino trying to answer. Instead, it's King. King top of the key. Gets some space. The flat-footed shot, no good. Rebound by Lexi LaPerry. LaPerry lobs ahead. De La Cruz ping-ponging across the floor, and the ball is ricocheted out of bounds off the fingertips of Constantino, so the ball will stay with the Vikings here. Great to see Monique Cavness come back into the game. She'll give Joyce Maluma a breather here, so they'll leave Sophie Fletcher on the floor. And it looks like Maluma will have to go to the trainer's table to get some attention as well. Inbounds pass over to Sky Parker. 20 seconds left. Turnaround jumper inside of the paint. And the nice little inside game for Sky Parker gives her 14 points here. 46-37. Vikings trying to bust open a double-digit lead here. If they're able to do so, it will be their first of the night here, but they lead by 9 here at the 3:13-minute mark here. Skylar Hendricks to the scorer's table for the Vikings. Izzy De La Cruz on the overplay, gets the steal. De La Cruz going straight to the hole. Stutters and has the ball blocked. A good job by Kaishanti King staying with the coverage. Transition 3, Manu, no good. Offensive rebound by King, and Kaishanti King comes back. Wide open underneath the basket, and the Vikings give the Hawks one there. 46-39. Parker pulls up from 15 feet. Sky Parker has been electric in these last few minutes for the Vikings here. The Vikings bring the lead back up to 9. Manu, crossover dribble, gets the low block left. Lexi LaPerry with some terrific defense. And a timeout on the floor called by the Vikings here. So the timeout is on the floor, and we'll take it alongside with them here. 48-39, Vikings lead by 9 at the 2:31-minute mark. And on the other side of the break, we'll have a special guest joining us in just a moment here on DVC Vikings Live. Three, two, one. Back on the floor here is the Lady Vikes, and we got another Viking for ourselves here. Elijah Keys joining the broadcast for the first time. Elijah, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me, Max. It's good to be here.
I mean, Keys has just been one of my favorite players for the Vikings last few years. Had his season cut short just a little bit, but man, this year it's been so much fun watching you be able to play out there, going out there and just bringing all the energy in the world.
Yeah.
And so De La Cruz trying to bring the energy to the Vikings there. Underhand scoop shot. And believe it or not, that's De La Cruz's first basket of the game. She's done so well to facilitate, but hasn't had a point on the board yet until that point. Constantino spinning around. Straightaway three-point shot. She'll be fouled. Fouling her from the free throw line, a 62% free throw shooter. Hate to see it as the Vikings finally brought open their double-digit scoring. And I'm utterly confused. This is the third or fourth time tonight where I was almost certain it was a shooting foul, but instead a sideline inbounds. Constantino will get the ball back after the inbounds from Cavness. Fancy footwork, the handles, the left wing three. Sharifi, a strong rebound, giving up about 4 inches of size there, but just nice position in getting the board. LaPerry on the crossover. LaPerry gets to the left side of the lane. A little short. King with the defensive rebound now. King down the right side of the lane. And King has been great in this last few minutes. As great as Sky Parker has been, King has gotten rebounds and King has gotten the ball going. 1 point shy of her number there, averaging 17 points per game. Sky Parker shifts from the free throw line and misses the shot. 1:20 remaining here. Keys, what do you see on the floor for the Vikings here, and why have things kind of been working out as a three-point shooter is fouled this time around? I will call that for certain. Constantino will go to the free throw line for 3. I mean, what's been the difference there? I mean, I'm sure you've seen the first half of play. How have the Vikings really been able to build on this double-digit lead up to this point?
Really, I really feel like it's due to the ball being fed to number 32, Skylar Parker. And she's really just been a dominant force the past few games, about 15 feet in. Free throw, everything. She's just been killing it, honestly. And I believe it was a couple of games ago, she had about 5 steals, I believe. It's just incredible, really. And, yeah, just feeding her the ball, facilitating, like you said, from Izzy. Not scoring, but finding other ways to impact the game, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's been a huge thing that Sam Garski, the assistant coach of the Vikings, has been talking about. Izzy wanted to score so badly, but he said, hey, take a deep breath. You can impact the game without scoring, and that's what we've seen tonight. All 3 free throws up and in, 5 for 5 from the stripe for Constantino, and it makes it a 50 to 44 point game here. 6-point lead. Lexi LaPerry trying to answer for the Vikes. It's Sharifi left alone from the left wing. Sharifi's going to dribble down the right side of the lane. Right-handed shot inside. No good. Offensive rebound brought in by Ferrero. Pardon me, defensive rebound by Ferrero. And we'll get you a reset on the floor. It'll be Constantino alongside Cavness, Ferrero with the other big woman inside, Sophie Fletcher, and King, who's been having a heck of a third quarter. Working through the screen. And a rejection by the Vikings. Oh, geez, that looks like you out there on the perimeter swatting that ball away. Vikings with the replacement here, so it's De La Cruz and LaPerry alongside Sky Parker, Sharifi, and Tegan Gaines. So arguably one of the most talented units that the Vikings can put on the floor as the starters are back in for the Vikes. Kirsten Constantino Throws up a prayer with 1 second left on the shot clock, misses it completely, and able to get the ball off in time was Cavness. Offensive rebound, so under 30 seconds to play, the shot clock is turned off, and it's 20 seconds left. It's a 6-point lead now for the Vikings. Constantino steps into a left wing three. The weird side spiraling arc of the shot just goes off the side of the iron, and Sky Parker gets the rebound. 8 seconds left. De La Cruz sprinting down the near side of the floor. Cross-court pass. LaPerry loses the handle. Instead, gets the ball off. Too strong. Brought in by Fletcher, and that'll be an end to the third quarter play. So we'll stay here at the break because we've got a friend of the broadcast on here. So Keys, I mean, let's talk about some men's hoops for just a moment. I don't have the number on top of on me right now, but you guys, 2 back-to-back wins. You got the big one against the number 15 team and the other Las Positas Hawks, the men's game. Yeah. And man, that was a just terrific showing. And then the last game, you guys went up to Butte. I mean, that one's got to taste sweet, right? Butte was a team that came back in a big manner. You guys were up 20, and then they ended up coming back. And then now you guys blow them out by 20. How was that game last time around against Butte?
It was very, along with myself and the other returners, it was a big game. You know, we wanted that victory more than anything, to be honest. We came in with the hunger almost. I can't explain the right word, but it was like a burning sensation inside. We really wanted the victory. And to be up by, I believe it was 20 within the first, 10 minutes or so of the game, we kind of knew where the game was going.
Did you ever have that eerie feeling in your belly though, like, hey, are we going to do this again, or did that not cross your mind whatsoever?
Oh yes, it did. It definitely did, because they came back and they extended the about 15-point lead to about eight or so. And so myself, along with our point guard Vinny, we were looking at each other like, all right, we got to wrap things up, and get the extend this lead back out. But it all worked out at the end, so it ended up being very good.
Yeah, love to see it. You guys will be taking on Sacramento City College on Thursday to open up Big 8 play before one standalone game against College of Sequoias to end your non-conference play. So we'll have the coverage here, as I'll be calling it remote, and that'll be an interesting call. And now from the left side of the elbow, it'll be Constantino answering once more. She's got 18 points. You can see why she averages 24.9 points per game. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Keys gave me a reaction. He's, whoa. And now the Vikings trying to answer with the triple of their own. It's a left wing miss by Tegan Gaines. And now pushing up the floor is Cavness. Cavness has the ball knocked away.
Hustle.
Terrific hustle, and more hustle by Ferrero. And it'll be a tie up here. Possession arrow will go back to the Vikings. Both of the jump balls have gone to the Vikings, and you can see Coach Theodore on the sideline for the Hawks just kind of a little confused. He was standing there. He wasn't calling out timeout, but he was holding up the tee on his hands. Yeah, you come on the broadcast, and all of a sudden we get hustle plays left and right, Keys.
Yeah.
Bringing that energy wherever you go. Man-to-man defense. De La Cruz fouled from 14 feet out. And not a bad foul, to be honest. If you're King, that's a shot that Izzy makes the majority of the time, so making her earn it from the stripe. And despite all the great things Izzy does, only a 61% free throw shooter. So under 10 minutes to play here in this fourth quarter. It's a 4-point lead. Vikings open up a double-digit lead here as the first free throws in by De La Cruz, her first attempt of the night from the stripe. And the Vikings trying to build up that lead once more as Las Positas College really turned around and started fighting really hard at the end of that third quarter, cut it back down to about 5 points. Kashanti King talking to her head coach, Theodore, as the second free throw for De La Cruz is set up. Second free throw, nothing but net. And De La Cruz, a nice night facilitating, only 4 points though. 6-point lead for the Vikings here as they bring the three-quarter court pressure on the floor. Losing the handle is Cavness. Cavness able to get it back though. Passes over to King. King tries to thread it underneath. Sophie Fletcher unable to get it off the ricochet, but instead a jump ball once more as Cavness had the ball underneath the basket. And so the ball will stay with Las Positas College as Cavness is definitely fighting through some pain there. Cavness will inbound it. She's handled the majority of the inbounding duties for this Hawks team tonight. From the right side of the baseline, Cavness scanning the floor, lobs ahead onto the right hand of Fletcher. Ferrero, call for the travel. Ferrero played all 40 minutes against Laney College, replacing Reina Manu, who wasn't able to play. Or pardon me, it was Kashanti King. No, it was Manu that wasn't able to play. So in little short stints here, hasn't really found much success. De La Cruz from the left wing gets a screen. Roll inside, and a foul. Just a nice two-woman game between De La Cruz and Tegan Gaines there. And it'll earn Gaines a trip to the stripe. And Keys, you've had to work through some injuries in your career. Obviously, a season-ending injury last year. How does it feel to just be so beat up and just having to continue to churn forward, man?
Honestly, it's really all a mental thing. You have to really be kind of sort of built different, really, because it can definitely take a toll on you. While it takes a toll on you physically, it can also do it to you mentally. And like always having to, always seeming like you're injured, injury prone, as they say, and it's real difficult. But as you can see, there's a whole lot of nicks and cranks and stuff that we all have, that the men's and women's team have, but we're still fighting through it, progressing.
Tegan Gaines' first free throw is good. So the Vikings still with the starters on the floor. Second free throw is up and in for Tegan Gaines. She's nearing double digits now with 9 points. It'll be Ferrero nearly turning the ball over, and she does turn the ball over, but instead LaPerry wasn't able to get it off the tip. King sprints down the far side of the floor, cutting down the right side of the wing. King! Man, what a nifty finish. 17 points for her, 54-48. Tegan for three, wide left. Tegan hasn't really found her range from deep. We've seen her knock down some NBA range three-point shots, and now reaching called against the Vikings here. It'll be LaPerry likely called on the foul. Or maybe a timeout instead. Haven't gotten the call from the official yet. So it will be a timeout on the floor, and we'll keep it once more because we do have Keys on the broadcast. So, Keys, how has it felt? Obviously, a little bit of a rough start for the men's team this year. You guys have dropped a few games that you wish you could have had back. Weren't able to really get a road win until that game against Solano. So, you guys are on the right side. Unfortunately, the record's still under 500. But, what's been the difference this year compared to last year, and how are you guys fighting through the adversity of that slow start in the year?
Well, in the beginning of the year, it was more of a leadership problem. But we definitely, the returners got together, and some of the newcomers, we got together, and we got a real understanding about what it is we want and how we would go about it, how we would go about getting the victory, just winning, really,
yeah.
And so we got that now, and as you can see, with us winning games and not just barely winning them, but, having good leads, 10 or more points by both wins. So it's just, we're figuring it out, and it's all going good. So,
yeah, I love to see you guys figuring it out because we want two great programs as we've historically seen with the Vikings. Sharifi on the turnaround jumper from the low block right. And Sharifi has not scored since the 11 points in the first quarter of play, but she's finally broken that goose egg in the second half at the 7:47-minute mark. Swings over to the left wing. Right-hand sleeve. It's a right-handed shot for King. And a nice box out and a rebound by LaPerry. Yeah, this team we've seen this team have so much success in the past, but obviously the last couple of years have been tough for the Vikings, so it's so good to see them back in their winning ways. As Sharifi dribbles, spins around, right-handed shot inside. And Sharifi just a little bit awkward with the movement, but hey, she shakes the defenders off well. Yeah. Constantino firing away from three. And it's always interesting to see with some of these shorter players, they don't necessarily have some of that power to be able to get up, so they have to almost catapult those threes. As De La Cruz catapults her way down the lane. She's got 6 points here, and the Vikings bust open the lead back open to 10. 58-48. Cavness wants to get back into this game badly as she's screaming from the bench, trying to call out her team. On paper, this was a trap game with the team that has really been a volume shooting team in total, and man, that's 21 points now for Constantino as she fights through two different Vikings players to get that triple to cut the lead back down to 7. But yeah, when this team is shooting hot as Constantino gets the steal off the hands of Sharifi, a lob ahead, it's King. King one-on-one, and a block, but too much contact by LaPerry. It'll send King to the free throw line. So just when the Vikings have started to build some momentum, man, a few turnovers, a tough shot hit by Constantino, and now King trying to cut it down to 5. Keys, have you ever had to play with the mask before?
No, thankfully no.
Yeah, we keep seeing De La Cruz. She got smacked upside the dome against Santa Monica College, and she's been taking it on and off. Seeing the famous NBA players, of course, masked. Toby is one of the first ones that comes to the top of the mind as the second free throw of the night for Keishanti King is missed. Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult it might be breathing through that thing.
Yeah.
King, a sub 50% free throw shooter. And the second free throw is up and in. 1 for 3. She's got 18 points, the second leading scorer for the Hawks. Tegan Gaines with 6:22 remaining here. Vikings trying to close it out. It's a 6-point lead. Sharifi from the free throw line. Rebound goes wide right. The rebound by Ferrero, but the steal by Sky Parker. Sharifi for 3. Sharifi! Triple up and in. 16 points. Tamana Sharifi's got 5 points in the fourth quarter, just like that. Under 6 minutes to play now. Constantino trying to answer with a fadeaway three-point shot. And Constantino, 24 points for her. 1 point underneath her average, man. She's turned it up here in the fourth quarter. Truly been a volume scorer as De La Cruz curls out. Offensive rebound by Lexi LaPerry. Trapped between the trees. Lexi LaPerry does want to spin out of it. And LaPerry over to Gaines. Gaines down the middle of the floor. Left-handed hook shot. And gets the contact, getting to the free throw line. Man, Constantino, though, she's only shooting 28% for 3 points. And, I mean, this team just does not shoot very well from the field. Bottom 10 in the 3C2A, only a 30% field goal percentage there. But, man, when they are on, I mean, you can see if you're heaving up, I mean, 60, 70, 80 shots per game, and you start to knock down some of those, it's looking pretty nice. And, I mean, that's been the tell of really the game. It's been, as the first free throw is up and in, Tegan Gaines 4 for 4 on the night. 10 points now, double digits for her. But if you're a volume shooting team and the shots are dropping as Gaines gets both the free throws to go, perfect 5 for 5 on the night, I mean, you can be in any game.
Yeah.
Constantino, ball in her hand once more, gets the screen and she's doubled now, driving the baseline. Constantino trying to drop it off over to King, and it's out of bounds. Vikings force the turnover. You can really feel the frustration of Caleb Theodore popping up here, the second-year head coach for Las Positas College. Such a calm, cool personality, but brought into the fire. He's going to bring the fire. Sky Parker left it too short. Jump ball. Possession arrow stays for the Vikings there. A terrific job by Lexi LaPerry getting inside and getting that board. Left side baseline inbound for De La Cruz now. And this is so interesting to see. If I'm not mistaken, both the leading rebounders in the 3C2A are out of the game. On the inbounds play, terrific job getting the hand up, and Tegan's been on fire here in this fourth quarter as well. But yeah, injuries to two of the bigs have resulted in a very different looking Las Positas Hawks team here as Manu has the ball trying to drill it past the bigger defender and Gaines. Spins around 12 feet out, the okey doke. Terrific attempt, but Sharifi comes away with the clean board. 10-point lead for the Vikings. Sky Parker able to get the ball at the baseline, but wasn't able to tiptoe that baseline. Turns the ball over. But I don't know if you know these stats, but Joyce Malumba, 21, who's over there with the scorers table, and number 22, Monique Havness, they're averaging between the two of them 43.5 rebounds per game.
Wow.
Yeah, leading the 3C2A in rebounds per game, and both of them are out. Right corner three. It was a wild attempt, but it had an opportunity to drop it in the bottom of the basket for Constantino. But now the Vikings look to be running away with this one as both the bigs are off the floor. De La Cruz, cross-court pass, curls out. When you have the two bigs sitting on the bench, you have another big coming off the bench, the 6'2" Sophie Fletcher, who got the rebound. And a foul called against the Vikings underneath the basket.
6 what?
She's 6'2".
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you'll have to learn to compete against that. He's your what, 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'4".
Okay.
Depends on who I'm talking to.
The Scouts, he's 6'4", baby, come on.
Yeah.
The foul goes against Sky Parker. That's her fourth. So one more and Parker's out the game. A block there on the three-point attempt. Manu had the ball swatted away. It was Gaines who got the block, but the ball will stay with Ferrero now. Ferrero, low block left, works away inside, leaves it short. Good defense there by Grace Oakley staying in front of her. Vikings have Grace Oakley with Hendricks as Hendricks turns the ball over on the floor. The steal by Fletcher there, and Constantino has it after a hectic last few possessions there. Three-point shot, man. She is money from deep right now. 27 points for Constantino, and she's just throwing that up. keeping the Hawks in the game single-handedly is Constantino. Lexi LaPerry getting to her spot alongside the block. Lexi LaPerry answering and one. Yeah, Keys, talk about that finish.
The footwork was amazing. Have you seen Hakeem Olajuwon? That's just amazing. That was one of the dream shakes right there.
I think she gives up about 2 feet to Hakeem, though.
Yeah.
So the little guard inside, the 5'7", I guess in women's basketball, 5'7's not too short of a size, is LaPerry. Able to cross the tee on the three-point play. LaPerry's got 9 points now. But yeah, man, big woman footwork inside for a 5'7" guard.
Yeah. Amazing. Lead back to 10. Oh,
and Constantino from the left wing once more. That one rattles out. The soft rim rebound will go over to Henrich. Henrich over to De La Cruz. Short right wing jumper rattles out. Rebound by Tanaya Lindsay. And Tanaya Lindsay unable to gather it and get it up. Jump ball. Possession arrow this time around goes over to Las Positas College. You got to respect this Hawks team fighting through it. You're missing 2 of your best players in Maluma and Cavness due to injury. But some of these players that haven't had very much playing time this year are still fighting, and man, all respect and a tip of the cap over to Las Positas College. Right wing, it's King off the mark. And Henrich won't try to go for the rebound. Instead, lets it go out of bounds, so the Vikings will get the ball back up 10 at the 2:51-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Vikings closing this one out. And a very tightly contested game up to this point. And Skylar Hendricks alongside Tegan Gaines, Tanaya Lindsay, De La Cruz, and LaPerry. LaPerry passing over, or gets the ball underneath after a pass to De La Cruz as she feeds Gaines. And Tegan, man, her post game is magnificent as well. The scoop shots, the turnarounds, just knows how to use all 5'10" of her size there. Behind the back dribble, Constantino called for the offensive foul. It looks like it will actually be a foul called against Fletcher on the off-ball screen. It'll be Fletcher's second. A timeout taken by Las Positas College, and we'll finally take the timeout here. Back on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. Vikings leading by 12 here, 2:18 remaining in the fourth. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Back on the floor, 2:18 remaining here. And let's get some analysis of some of the big play inside by our big and our friend, Keys.
So I feel like, as I was saying to you before we got back on, I feel like a big part of team success is the energy on the floor is energy. The energy on the floor and the energy on the bench is very important. That's something all 3 of our coaches have preached to us, and it's a big part. That's the culture we're trying to instill here at DVC. And Tamana, she's been embodying big energy.
Fair to say, is she it? I mean, man, she's got you 16 points, got you 11 in the first quarter. And I mean, it's just like, she does get her moments, and honestly, like, probably, we don't have the minutes total, unfortunately, but she's probably played about 26 minutes tonight. But it's just like you said, the energy that she's really brought off the bench. I mean, it's tough when you don't have very many rotations.
Yes.
And yes, so bring energy on the court and off the court.
Yeah.
Skylar Hendricks gets it from the top of the key, working across the lane, spins inside, left-handed shot. Terrific post moves by Skylar Hendricks, and she's got 11 points now.
She has a great feel for the game.
Constantino doing her best Curry impression as she steps back into a left-handed three-point shot. Instead, let's call it a lob over to Kaishanti King. And another jump ball this time, the possession arrow to the Vikes. Under 2 minutes of play here And Constantino, talk about bringing energy. She sprints down the floor. She's fighting hard. And the moment you give her just a sliver of space, fires up that triple. Skylar Hendricks pulls the string short. An offensive rebound for the Vikings and for LaPerry.
Yeah.
Low block left. Back-to-back buckets for Hendricks. She's got 13. You want to know another crazy stat? Skylar Hendricks is shooting 61% on the year. Yeah. Talk about those shooting numbers.
Wow.
Vikings top 10 in the 3C 2A in terms of field goal percentage.
Truly
And another
phenomenal.
terrific job by Kaishanti King. She's got deuce 20 points now for her. Hendricks getting fed the ball. It'll be a rebound brought in by Kaital Hanna, getting her first playing time of the game. Foul will go against the Vikings, though. Third team foul. It'll go against Skylar Hendricks. She's got 3. Sprinting down the far side of the floor is Constantino now. Under 1 minute to play. Constantino through the legs with the dribble. Man, her footwork is so nice, and her handles are nice, too. But a timeout taken by Las Positas College as they want to try to work with a little bit of a different unit there. This is a team that's really played 5 people on the floor the majority of the game. For the main part, it's been Manu, King, Maluma, Cavness, and Constantino getting all 40 minutes of the game. So I like this idea by Theodore. You got a bunch of different players that haven't necessarily played too much. Make sure they get a quality shot off.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so Keys, so I'm sure you've watched a lot of this team. What's really been, what have you seen as some of the keys to a lot of their success this year?
Well, for one, the energy. That's,
that energy is huge.
Yes, and then I would say number one, compared to last year, having more depth on their bench, and that has been. I can recall a few games last year coming into the gym, and Lexi was coming out with like 4 or 5 bags of ice on, and it was just they're warriors for sure, but that the depth with their bench has been a tremendous help.
Yeah, the recruiting this year has been massive, and it's only going to keep getting better. This is a team that only won 8 games last year. They've already eclipsed that number, 9-2 coming into this one, looking to get their 10th win, up 14 here. And it looks like it'll be a turnover on the inbounds pass. It was Ferrero just stepping in play. So the Vikings will first force the turnover before an inbound opportunity there. We'll likely see one more shot attempt from the Vikings and maybe another attempt by the Hawks before getting close to this one. Skylar Hendricks scored the last 4 points for the Vikings. And LaPerry trying to close this game out here. Vikings up 14. Vikings content to use very much so the majority of the shot clock. De La Cruz trying to thread it underneath over to Grace Oakley. And the lob ahead, it'll go over to Manu. And Tamana Sharifi, it's Tanaya Lindsay. I mean, she almost looked like an offensive lineman there. Kick stepping, pushing her way back, trying to force it and not give Las Positas College the opportunity at that ball. For her to inbound it once more. So likely be the last shot attempt of the game. A throw inside over to Constantino. At the shot block. De La Cruz flying through the sky as Lexi LaPerry guts it off the ricochet. And the Vikings, well, they go for the travel. They threaded it inside to Lindsay. I think that ball was on automatic as Casey Waters was trying to tell them to hold it off for the last. But under 13 minutes to play, one more opportunity for Las Positas College. It'll be Manu. Manu's blocked once more, back-to-back blocks to close out this one for the Vikings here. Last shot attempt will be a triple by Kaishanti King, giving her 23 points. And the Vikings just need to dribble this clock out now. A 3-point shot from the right wing. No good for Tanaya Lindsay. So Tanaya Lindsay hasn't got too much playing time in this early season, but in her last few moments, played some good defense, fired away 3-point shot, and that brings us to our final here, 74-63. So Keys, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Love to have you here in the future, and let's see if we can get Tamana Sharifi on the broadcast for the first time here. We'll take a quick timeout and try to come back with the interview on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings. So for the first time on the broadcast this year, we've got Tamana Sharifi, the sophomore transferring in from LMC last year. So first of all, terrific game. I mean, you came coming off of that Foothill All-Tournament team. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I mean, how's it been transitioning from LMC over to DVC this year?
Well, last season I was actually a redshirt, and I kind of found out last minute, so it was really tough having to sit out last season. Being on the sideline, I found out the day before the first game that I actually couldn't play because of a transfer rule. So I've been really eager to just come out and give everything that I've been wanting to give last season and all my life. I feel like I haven't really got a shot to actually play, so I'm really happy that I'm able to do it, and I feel like I'm doing everything that I've wanted to do now.
I mean, it's terrific to see what you've been able to do. Double-doubles. I don't have rebounding stats, unfortunately, because it's hard to track while I'm doing the call. But tonight you finished with 16 points. I mean, how are you feeling in that first quarter? You were on fire. 11 points in the first quarter alone.
Yeah, I honestly just am grateful that my teammates had confidence in me, because I feel like that's really where it starts. So throughout the season, they got more comfortable with me feeding me the ball, and when I see that confidence from them, they're giving me the ball, I have the green light to shoot it. So I just feel good that I can contribute. That's the biggest thing. I just really want to take home the win for us over everything, over the points. If I can rebound and we win, I'm happy with that. So
yeah, I mean, this has been one of the huge things that I've gotten from every single person on the team this year. I try to highlight you guys, and I try to just give you that little bit of a push, but man, you guys always defer back to the team. How is that mentality pushing forward? Is it just one person pushing that idea, or is it really just the entire team buying into one another and really just believing what you guys can do?
Honestly, from the beginning of the season, we really bought in together. This team is like no other team I've been on. We understand each other, we understand our strengths and weaknesses, and we understand how to play with each other really well. And I think that we just know that it starts with the chemistry. If the team chemistry isn't there, you could be a great player, but you're not going to get the open looks, or your teammate's not going to pass you the ball. So I think that with everybody's experience, they just know that that's how you come together and you win. As a team, it's never going to be you've seen many teams come and go. They can have one player that scores 35 points, but at the end of the day, if their whole team doesn't come together, they can't close out the game. So that's more of our focus, especially with some of the players who were returning from last season. I know that they had a lot that they wanted to play together, and they didn't really have the bodies last season. So just coming together with everybody's outlooks on what they want from the season, I think. And that way, everybody's still getting theirs, Everybody's coming together and scoring, so.
Yeah, I mean, you have multiple players over 10 points per game. You guys are one of the top teams in field goal percentage, top 10 in terms of field goal percentage, top 10 in terms of three-point percentage. I mean, this has really been a true team effort. And before we close it out, who's the funniest player on the team?
The funniest? Okay, I'm the funniest player on the team.
Ooh.
Besides me, I have to say Skylar Parker.
Sky gave me a funny quote. She's like, I'm a softie off the court, but I'm a brute on the court.
No, it's true, yeah. But no, she's so funny. She'll just do the most random things. But she actually told me the other day I'm the funniest person she knows, so.
Oh, that's sweet. I mean,
yeah.
Keep bringing that lightheartedness, keep bringing that energy. I mean, Keys was on the broadcast with me earlier, just talking so much about how you brought energy on and off the floor. And I mean, I'm so happy to see you continue to succeed. And I'm glad you joined us here on the broadcast today. So we'll close it out here with Tamana tonight. My name's Max McGrath, bringing the broadcast here. We'll be live on the 30th, so quite a break as we come back for the men's basketball game. You guys will play it Thursday against Sacramento City College to build your Big 8 season, so excited to see what you guys are able to do there. And I'll be watching the stream there. Unfortunately, I won't be out there calling it, but I'll be watching you guys. And we close up the broadcast the same way. Join alongside with me. Horns up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Horns up.
Horns up. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Tamana.